Where did this thing called the sacred portion, where did the principle of, the tithing begin in scripture? It began from the book of Genesis. And when we look at the Garden of Eden, what did we see? That principle was there. God told man, everything belongs to you except this. God gave man a touch not in the garden. He gave man a touch not in the garden. And what was that touch not? What was that taboo? It was the knowledge of good and evil. It was the knowledge of good and evil. God told man, you can eat of every other tree. I've given you, the herbs and the plantings on the ground for food. I've given you every other thing, but you see, this tree of the knowledge of good and evil, this knowledge of good and evil, you must not partake of it. You must not interact with the knowledge of good and evil. So even right there in the garden, the principle of tithe was reflected. God gave man every other thing, but he placed a taboo. He said, there is something in this garden that you must not touch, that you must not interact with, that you must not eat, that you must not believe, that you must not even know. If that one is set apart, it is a taboo. The day you eat of it, you will definitely die. So even in the Garden of Eden, we see the principle of tithing reflected. But what did man do? Man interacted with the knowledge of good and evil. Eve got seduced. Eve got deceived, and she brought her husband into it. And we see that the first man who decided to lay hold and partake of that which God told him not to partake of, what happened? Sin and death came into the world. That was the beginning of the fall of man. When man decided to treat as profane that which God called sacred, when man decided to touch that which God said do not touch, it brought what? Sin and death upon the world. It brought sin and death into the human race. So long as Adam kept that which was sacred, he enjoyed bliss, he enjoyed ease, he enjoyed unhindered communion with the Father, and all of creation was subject to his authority. Animals were subject to him. Was he not the one that named all the animals? Was he not the one that gave all of them their identity? But the moment Adam violated that which was sacred, the moment Adam disobeyed and rebelled against God, creation rebelled against Adam. Animals began to kill each other. Animals began to attack each other. Animals began to hunt man. We now began to have wild animals like the lions and the tiger that could eat and devour man. Creation began to fight Adam. The ground began to bring up thistles and thorns against Adam. Creation, that which Adam was a god over, began to fight him. Why? Because he defied God's order. He stretched forth his hand and partook of that which was sacred unto God, and that thing became accursed unto him. It became a taboo unto him, and he brought him under the mercy of that which he reigned and ruled over. This is how grievous the consequences of touching God's taboo is.